Now if you'll remember, at the end of video number 4, I just discovered that I had the blanks on the wrong way around. I should have had the short one go on first. Well, now I'm just changing it around. And I really did just discover it at the end of that video. I don't do reenactments, and I don't fake anything. If I screw up, you'll see it. If it goes good, you'll see it. I'm going to hope that this goes good. And here we go again with just thinking of something. I checked my email this morning and a viewer sent me a comment, and he got me to thinking about the fact that my mandrel's probably not eccentric. Well, actually it isn't. I noticed the last couple of times I've used it that my bushings are sort of bouncing up and down. Well, not real bad, but they're not the way it was when the mandrel was new, that's for sure. So I'm just going to check it out here. As long as I'm thinking about it, now's the time to do it. Well, you know, it does seem to be a little bit off-center out here near the end, where the live center is, but it's not real bad yet. But you know, I think I will try turning between centers sometime and get rid of the mandrel. Sounds like a good idea. I think it'll work. I'm just concerned about slippage, though. Anyway, thanks, Jim. And here we go again with more checking. I think the last time I used my scraper, because my mandrel was a little bit out of round there, I got awful close to one of those bushings, and I was kind of concerned that I may have touched it. So I'm just going to make sure that it's as sharp as it can possibly be. And also because that mahogany, even though it's been infused with the cactus juice, it's still going to have a tendency to want to tear out. The sharper the tool, the less the chance of the tear out. Okay, I know it looks like I'm going a little bit overboard here checking out my scraper, but as long as I've got this good microscope, I may as well make use of it. And by the way, this microscope is not one of those that goes up to, say, 2000 power that you'd use to check blood cells. It only goes up to, I think, around 60 power. Goes from about 7 power through to 60 power, but it does it extremely well, and it does it in stereo. If you're thinking of getting a microscope for your workshop, don't go getting one of those that goes up to 2000 power. They're only used for really tiny things, like blood cells. This is the one to get for a workshop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down with the scraper, and I'll be checking periodically for tear out. If I find that there's a lot of tear out, I'll take it down the rest of the way with sandpaper. Sandpaper isn't going to tear it out. But I'm thinking this is going to be okay. We're going to know in a minute. Well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, what happened was, after I got my camera out of the way and I sped the lathe up to around 2000 RPM, everything was going just great. I had it right down to the bushings, and I thought, I'm going to have to do very little sanding here. This is wonderful. Oh, I'll give it one more little touch, I thought. And that was it. One touch too many. I guess I got a little bit too aggressive with my scraper. Now I've got all kinds of really nice mahogany pieces that have the grain running the right way. So I'll be just cutting more blanks here. And we'll turn this the way it's supposed to be turned. Well, what I think I'm going to do with this piece here is I'm going to sand it down now. But I'm not going to put any kind of finish on it. And then I'm going to take a look at it really close and just see if the cactus juice did fill all the little pores. There's no use putting the finish on because the finish will fill the pores, and then I won't know if I'm looking at the wax or am I looking at the cactus juice. So I'm going to just sand it right down. I'll work my way right up to maybe 800,000 grit maybe.